Except for the hair.
When you move it, I can hear. Hello and welcome to another wonderful Wednesday live stream to help you improve your English. Thank you for joining us. My name's Craig. I'm from the website mencioningles.com, where you can find some free courses and material to help you take your English up to the next level. And also, we have a podcast called inglespodcast.com, and that's published every Sunday. You can listen on the website there or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And a warm Wednesday welcome to one of my favorite teachers. It's Mónica from Blog del
Hi.
Inglés.
So I'm the author of Blog del Inglés. Hi, everybody, and thank you for coming. And also, if you watch the replay, nice to see you around. And I'm the author of Blog para Aprender Inglés, which is the old blog, and Blog del Inglés that you see there. And you'll find lots of material to learn English by reading it in Spanish. This is the difference. You know, the explanations are in Spanish. And, well, we have many resources. And at the same time, we offer classes over Zoom or Skype with native teachers. And many of them speak Spanish. So if you're interested, please contact us through blogdelingles.com.
And even if you're not looking for paid classes at the moment, on Monica's website there is so much material, some wonderful blog posts to help you with your English, and it's aimed at the Spanish-speaking audience. So definitely recommended. Go and check out that webpage, blogdelingles.com. People are starting to arrive. Hello, Juan Lu. Good to see you. Good evening. Gemma is with us. Thank you, Gemma, for joining us again.
Thank you, Gemma.
And Brenna, where are you from, Brenna? Tell us where you're from. Type it in the chat. We'd love to know which part of the world you are. And what are we talking about today? While we're waiting for people to join us live, the subject is
vocabulary about prices. And we're also going to talk about negotiating, no? Because it's related when you talk about prices, no? Arturo says he's from Honduras.
Hi, Arturo.
Christine. Oh, thank you, Christine, for coming. Arturo, Álvaro Salas, Ana Belén from Valencia.
Anna, we're neighbors. Hi.
Yeah. Yes.
I know. Yeah, of course it's Anna. I know, Anna. Good to see you here. Christine, hello. Álvaro from Costa Rica. Jose Antonio from Cádiz, from the south of Spain. Lovely to see so many of you here. And we hope we can give you some value by helping to improve your vocabulary when you're talking about prices, because the world's becoming more expensive. Prices are rising. They're going up. And we need to be able to bring the prices down, to negotiate, to talk about prices. So we're looking at some vocabulary connected to money and pricing today. So shall we start with our first expression?
Yes,
of course, the very basic, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to know the price. What do you say?
How much is it? Is it? Okay, together. How much is it? And how much does it cost? Very easy. I think everybody knows this expression. Maybe, also in the past, it's not so difficult to say. How would you say, how much does it cost in the past?
How much did it cost?
Exactly. We changed the auxiliary verb does. How much did it cost?
And if I was asking a friend how much they paid for something, I might say, how much did it cost you? When you're speaking about money in English, when you're speaking about price, intonation is quite important, because money is a sensitive subject, isn't it? You want to be able to talk about money in a polite way, in a friendly way. So I would use a lot of intonation with these questions. How much is it? How much is it? So the voice goes up and down. How much does it cost? How much does it cost? Make sure your voice is going up and down.
When you're learning English, this is one of the first things that you learn, because if you have to visit another country, even if they don't speak English, you're going to use English to communicate. And the first thing you say, because you go to try to buy souvenirs or some present for friends or whatever, and you say, how much, and you indicate with the finger, how much. And we'll see this, how to haggle, how to say other kind of expression, make it more sophisticated, really, not just to say how much. I remember this. I have seen tutors saying this, how much this? How much this? It's the international sentence, a question. It's an international, I think everybody understands this. It's the first thing they learn. Okay?
Absolutely. So what we've done, we've divided the vocabulary initially in the beginning in 2 sections. So first we'll look at cheap expressions when it is not expensive, and then we'll look at more expensive expressions for price. So if something is cheap, we can also use the opposite of expensive, which is inexpensive. The prefix in is the opposite of expensive. So things that are cheap and things that are inexpensive. Before the first expression on cheap prices, cheap is not a very nice word. Inexpensive is better.
It's more elegant. Yeah,
it's more exactly. It's more elegant. I remember I went to a shop it was owned by a friend of my dad's. And I went inside the shop with my dad. It was a clothes shop, and I picked up a jacket, and I said, how much is this? And he told me, I don't know, £10, £12. And I said, that's cheap. And he said, no, Craig, it's not cheap. It's inexpensive. And I remember that because he didn't want me to think it was just a cheap old jacket that was not good quality. So inexpensive, as Monica said, is much more elegant. It's much nicer.
No, but cheap has the connotation of bad quality.
Bad quality. Exactly.
And sometimes when I go with my husband, it looks cheapy. Like we say that. So it's bad quality. That's not very good. That's why it's nicer to say it's inexpensive. It's affordable or affordable also.
Yep.
Affordable. That you, in Spanish, we say que te lo puedes permitir. Is it I don't know if we have that. Maybe we do. We do have that word in the vocabulary.
Why don't you explain our first expression for inexpensive, and then I'll make a banner for affordable, because that's a nice word.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, it's a good price. Yeah, but this one is very easy to remember because it's simple English. It's a good price. It's the same as affordable, no? When was the last time you got something for a good price? Do you remember?
When was the last time I got something for a good price? That's a good question. Did I get something discounted recently? What happened today, I subscribed to some software for the Mansion Inglés website and for our Facebook page, and I couldn't get a good invoice. So I kept sending emails to get an invoice. And in the end, I was so frustrated that I couldn't get the invoice, which in Spanish is factura, that I put on Twitter, and maybe some of you may have seen it because you follow me on Twitter, complaining about, how can I get... And then suddenly I got an email from a different person offering me a 20% discount on the next 2 months for this software.
The same software.
So it was, the same software. For my inconvenience, they gave me 20%, a 20%
But it was the
discount.
same company or another company?
Same company.
Okay. Another person, you mean another person you have not had contact with. Okay.
And it's a good price. Yeah, it's a good price, but I got a 20% discount.
I got a good price, you know what? And tickets, plane tickets. Because I bought some plane tickets in January when everybody had COVID. So return ticket to Paris, 90 euros. Why? Because everybody had COVID and nobody was planning, but I bought it for March.
Wow, so that's good.
I think the taxi is more expensive than the ticket. So sometimes I get this situation where you pay more for the taxi or the Uber than for the plane. So 90 euros is affordable. 90 euros return ticket, Madrid, Paris, including the insurance all covered, no, all included, like
All
any
included.
kind. Yeah, I think even war, even
That's
if
a
we go
very
to
good
war,
price.
yeah, everything.
That's a very good
Yeah,
price. More people have joined us. Let's say a quick hello to Joanna from Girona, Katia, Costa Rica, Eduardo, Norma, Mónica, and Mónica from Barcelona, and Nacho, and Eva from Wales, and Eduardo. Did you get your invoice in the end? Not yet, Eduardo, but I live in hope. The deal was I forget about the last 4 invoices that were wrong, because in Spain you can't claim an invoice if it doesn't have your name, your NIF number, your tax number, and your address.
Yes.
Without those 3 things, you can't present the invoice. In some countries, you just need an email address.
Exactly.
So they don't care. So I hope in the future I'll be able to get the money deducted.
Yeah.
Where are we? Affordable, yes. If you can afford something, that's the verb, to afford something, you have enough money to buy it. And that's often used in the negative. I can't afford to go to Paris this year. I can't afford to buy a new car. I can't afford to pay my gas bill or my electric bill this month. I can't afford it. I don't have the money. And the adjective is affordable.
Yeah, there's a verb and adjective. That's quite very reasonable. That's a very good sentence to say. Yeah, if you are being offered something, for example, what you were offered with this software or this subscription, it was very reasonable or quite reasonable, the discount they offer you. That's a nice sentence to say. And it's very easy. I think it's the same in Spanish, so you wouldn't have a problem to remember that. That's a reasonable price. You can use it as an adjective, no? There's a reasonable price. It's quite reasonable what she's
Quite
asking.
reasonable.
I would say that we use this more for like a service. You know, like you're going to find somebody who does something for you, like, I don't know, painting the house, no? Or moving, because I recently moved from one house to another, and I was asking for quotes, ofertas, no? And my husband and I said we interviewed one company that was recommended, and he offered a price, and I said, oh, this is quite reasonable. What he's asking is quite reasonable for the amount of work. And we decided to hire them because they did a very good job. So I would recommend them. You need a moving company in Madrid. So that's was very reasonable what he asked the company.
Eduardo's saying that he has this sentence to remember the word afford. I can't afford.
Oh, that's
fantastic.
Good.
I love it. I would say I can't afford a Ferrari.
Yeah, I would say that.
But that doesn't help you remember the word afford.
No, yeah, I can't afford.
I can't afford
is
perfect. Yeah.
Yes. That's why his name is Eduardo Inglés.
I love those mnemonics, those little rhymes that make it easy to remember words. I can't afford, but I can afford a Skoda, for example. Next, what's next? So, yes, I told you the true story about that invoice I received from that software company, and I got 20% off. That preposition off is very useful when you get a discount, when something is discounted. When you have sales in the shops after Christmas, in the new year, you can get 50% off, 20% off, 30% off. And it really means off the full price. So 20% less, 20% off the real price, the full price.
And remember, it's double F, because there's another off without only one F. So this is menos, and the other one is de. So it really means minus, no? Oh, I like this one. It's a real bargain. In Spanish, we have es un chollo. In Spanish from Spain. But probably you have other expressions in South American Spanish.
Do you say ganga as well?
Es una ganga, yes.
Una ganga.
But in Spanish from Spain, I think it's more common to say es un chollo. So it's a real bargain. So what was a real bargain? The ticket that I bought, that was a real bargain. The ticket, the plane ticket that I bought, is a real bargain. And usually you find real bargains when there's a problem in the market, because they cannot sell the stock they have. It can be for clothes, it can be for many, or service. No? They cannot sell, so they have to lower the prices, and then is when you get a bargain, because or the person is in a situation that he's forced to sell this item, no? Or when you're forced to sell a house because of whatever, you're getting foreclosure, you have a problem, so you find a promoción.
Brenna says in Colombia they also
ganga.
say ganga, so it's used in
promoción
in Colombia as well.
It's a real
And
bargain.
Felipe, I don't know where Felipe is from, but they say ganga where
Chile.
From.
I think
from
Felipe
Chile?
is from Chile. Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I know. Yeah.
So it's a real bargain. Bargain here is a noun, and it can also be used as a verb, but we'll look at that a bit later.
Yes, it's true.
To bargain is also common, and a bargain. The next one we have is a good deal. So, in business, you make a deal. You can also strike a deal, strike, or to make a deal with someone. It's a deal. And obviously, if the price is right and you're happy with what you get or the money you pay, it's a good deal. So it's a good deal. It's a fantastic deal. It's a wonderful deal. You can put any adjective in place of good. And obviously, if you want to use that in a negative way, it's a bad deal. It's a terrible deal. It's an awful deal. So it's a deal. And that's also, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh no, you're going to say this. I think
only add that you also say that when you agree.
Exactly.
That was
what I was
Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah,
you're negotiating and you're speaking about price, and you agree on the price. You shake hands. Well, before COVID, we shook hands and we said it's a deal. I agree. It's a deal.
I agree. Estoy de acuerdo. It's a deal. Without good, estoy de acuerdo. It's a deal. Yeah. We have a deal. That's the
so far the expressions we've had are fairly well known. You may have known those, but I'm not sure if you've heard of this one before. Have you heard of this one, Monica?
I have. Yes, it's dirt cheap. I love this because it's when you find something that is dirt cheap, you're very happy, because especially something that you really want, because sometimes it's dirt cheap, but is bad quality and you're not.
But what's dirt? What does dirt mean?
Dirt means this is actually an expression or an idiom, because dirt is tierra, polvo, but dirt, I don't know what the origin is here, because dirt.
I don't either, but because if you go outside, you can find dirt in the street. You can find dirt in the countryside.
Yeah, the countryside.
It doesn't
dirt
cost any money. You can just take it.
Exactly.
It's could be that cheap as dirt.
Dirt.
It's dirt cheap.
Yeah, it could be that the reason. No? It's dirt cheap.
Possibly. My dad used to say that all the time. It's dirt cheap. It's really cheap. It's very, very cheap.
Yeah, but dirt cheap, I don't think it's so bad. It's a bad connotation. I think that you're expressing there that you made a really good deal. You bought something, and you're saying, "Oh, it was dirt cheap. Don't worry, I didn't spend so much money." For example, if my husband comes with a new pair of shoes, and I said, "Again, a new pair of shoes again?" And he says, "No, it's dirt cheap." Oh, they were dirt cheap. So in this sense, it's not a negative thing, it's a positive thing, because you're saying that you were good at finding something that is exactly what you want, but at a very cheap price.
Exactly. That's it. Okay. As Alberto says, it's as cheap as dirt. And Eva from the UK, she's saying it's a deal is usually used in the UK. Yeah. Very common in the UK.
But it's also in
North America as well, I think. Yeah.
These two. está tirado de precio. That's very good translation. Yes.
Okay.
Good one, José Antonio. Está
Nice
tirado.
one, José
Está
Antonio.
tirado. It's dead cheap. Está tirado. This is like, I wouldn't have remembered that because
And
they
when
are
you get
better translators than I am. Okay. When you get
when you get a good deal, or when it's a real
Yeah.
bargain and you're happy with the price, you can say, I got it for a song. I'm not sure where this comes from, but if you get something for a song, you get it really, really cheap. I suppose it's because if you sing, it doesn't cost any money. I don't know. It's free to sing, doesn't cost you
well,
anything.
I
Maybe
think
that's the origin of it. I don't know.
I think it depends on who is singing.
Yeah,
Because
if it's me, it'll be expensive because you need something to cover your ears. Yeah, that's for
exactly,
sure.
you get it for a song. It's nothing.
I
It
got it
costs nothing.
very, very cheaply.
I
Very
got it for a
cheaply.
song, very cheap. It's just it's the same idea. Estaba tirado de precio. So
Yeah.
I got it for a song.
So that might be a new expression for you. If you like any of these, make sure you write them down, make a note, and try to use them next week if you can when you're speaking and practicing English or writing emails. Let's move now from expressions that refer to being cheap or inexpensive and look at expressions and phrases for expensive things. One word I didn't have on this list is dear.
Dear,
D-E-A-R.
dear. This is British.
That's very British English.
It's British. That's not American. You would never hear
Because
that
you
in
know the
American.
word dear when you start a
Yeah,
letter, dear
exactly.
Mónica, dear Craig,
Yeah.
but as an adjective, it means expensive in some
Expensive. It's true.
parts of England. It's a very colloquial expression, very
Yeah.
common in the north of England, in places like Liverpool, Birmingham, that area, Newcastle. So yeah, it was dear. It was expensive.
Yeah, and it's
Meaning
very
exactly the same.
confusing when you're learning English because I never heard that in American English. And the first time I heard that, I thought, what the hell do they mean with dear? And I had to look it up. That's why, well, it was a long time ago, but I remember that word. I was totally flabbergasted by using dear as expensive, as a synonym of expensive.
So expensive expressions, you can say it cost a
fortune.
a lot of money.
Oh,
And pronunciation, when you've got that A sound there, a fortune, it will connect to the T of cost, costa. It cost a fortune. It cost a fortune. So there's no, it joins on that T consonant sound and the vowel sound. They link together. It cost a fortune. Went to a restaurant yesterday, fantastic food, lovely service, but it cost a fortune.
It was very expensive, very dear. I love this one. It was a ripoff. And this is the typical thing that happens to tourists in tourist traps. When you go to Italy, for example, let's put an example here, and you don't know where to eat, you probably are going to end up in a tourist trap.
Especially Rome or Venice or one of those places.
Rome, Venice, or Florence. And you go there and you order something. This happened to us I remember one time in Lisbon, in Portugal. Mm-hmm. In Portugal, they have the habit as when you order something, you're waiting, they come with bread and cheese and they put it there on the table. And you just, bread and cheese. Because in Spain, they put bread and cheese, is the house that pays, not you. No? Yeah. And you start eating your bread and cheese. And then you get the bill, and it says 30 euros for the bread and cheese.
30 euros?
30 euros for the bread and cheese for 5 people.
That's a rip-off.
That's a rip-off. In Spanish, we say, te han dado un sablazo. So with a shape like how do you say sable in English?
Sable?
Sword. It's like a sword.
A swear word.
Yeah. No, a sword. Un sable. So.
A sword. Yeah. A saber. I think it is in English. A saber.
Yeah, es un robo. Yeah. And in Spanish from Spain, we say me han dado un sablazo. So it's like. So in rip-off in English, it means that they take away your clothes. They rip off. They make it into pieces. No, your clothes. You rip off your clothes. No, because you go and check the bill and they say, "Oh, this was a rip off." I was, and I couldn't complain because we didn't know. We ate it, so it was no opportunity to complain. We said, so any restaurant we visited, they said, no cheese, no bread, no, out.
You're the second person. You're the second person in a month who's said the same thing to me about Lisbon in Portugal, because years ago Portugal used to be, or Lisbon used to be, dirt cheap.
Dirt cheap
for food. The restaurants were wonderful. It was really cheap.
And
a friend of mine went to Lisbon 2 or 3 weeks ago, and he said the same thing. Some of the, not exactly ripped off, but some of the restaurants were quite dear. They were quite expensive because of the tourism. And you can use rip off in the passive. That's very common. I was ripped off in Paris. I was ripped off outside a restaurant.
Usually you're ripped off in places you don't know. And it's something that happens when you're a tourist.
And you should always ask the price before you buy anything. How much does it cost? Is it included in the price? Yeah.
It's very simple to ask and try to find out. In the past, it happened with taxis. And now taxis were horrible. When you took a taxi, they say, no, maybe it's this. But I remember the one time that I went to London many years ago. You don't know the way. So the guy, I think I went around London 2 times before I got to my destination. So I was ripped off. But nowadays, because there's Uber or other companies similar to Uber, you just have a close price. And that is the big advantage. No?
Yes,
it's
and you can pay with your phone. Much easier. We've got just 1 second. I'm creating another banner because there's another expression that I like very much. No, there's a comment in the chat that reminded me of another expression. So Eduardo's saying, what a ripoff. What a exclamation mark. And Brainer says, I hope I pronounce your name correctly, Brainer. He's saying es un robo. Which you would say in Spanish, but there's a similar expression in English to express that frustration of being cheated. You can say it's daylight robbery, which is
daylight. Good.
So it's daylight robbery. It's just like ridiculously. It's a ripoff. If it's daylight robbery, it's a ripoff. They saw you coming is another expression. They saw you coming. They took advantage of you. Another expression, which is quite funny, it cost an arm and a leg. Now, obviously, that's not literally they cut your arm and they cut your leg. No, you don't pay with your limbs. But if it's really, really expensive, you can say, it cost us an arm and a leg. This restaurant was really expensive. It cost an arm and a leg.
In Spanish, there's nos costó un riñón or something like that. It's also, you can say something.
Un riñón.
Un ojo de la cara. Felipe says un ojo de la cara. This is, I don't think I have heard this in Spain, but in Chile they say that. Yes. Sí. Yes, me costó un ojo de la cara. And me costó un riñón. Somebody from Spain? Yes, it cost a kidney.
It cost a kidney. Un riñón.
Carlos García, Yes.
It cost an arm and a leg.
Nos costó un huevo, Alberto García. That's true. Nos costó. But I don't understand that expression.
An egg?
No, but I think they mean a bowl.
A bollock.
A
testicle. It cost a testicle.
I don't think they mean an egg, because usually one real egg is cheap.
Unless you're eating bull's testicles in a restaurant, which is a delicacy in some parts of Spain. So then it would cost a testicle, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Another expression, it's a bit pricey. We had price before, so pricey is another expression.
Pricey, and it's a bit steep. Steep means to go up. So steep is like this, the same idea. It's a bit steep. It's a bit pricey. Give me an example of something that was very pricey for you.
Something that was very pricey. 2 years ago, I needed to replace the tires on my car. And
that's very pricey. It's 600.
Yeah,
600 euros.
it was
or
about
something like
500 or 600 euros. I thought,
Yes,
how
yes.
much? It's like nearly 200 euros
It's
for
it's
one wheel,
wheel.
one tire.
Exactly. That's true.
And I
That
thought that
happened
was
to
a
me
bit
too. It's,
steep,
yeah, very pricey.
very
And
pricey.
you're thinking, when I did this, also changed my tires, I thought, no, it's maybe 100 per wheel, something like that. And
Yeah,
then
me
suddenly,
too.
what? 600? And then the problem is that you cannot escape. You're there at the garage. You have to pay
Yeah,
that.
you have to pay it.
And,
You pay through the nose.
yeah. To pay through the nose. Yeah.
What's that
So
mean?
to pay too much for what you get.
Yeah,
And that's also quite common, and that is for example in some services, no, and then you expect certain level of service, and then you're paying that, and then suddenly it's not that, it's really low.
it happens
So
very often if you don't register, if you're flying somewhere and you
yes.
forget to check in a bag online, or you forget to do the check-in online,
Exactly, or that you have too much weight,
or
you're
you go
carrying
over
to
your weight.
you weight, yeah.
When you get to the airport, you can go on the plane, but you pay
Yeah.
through the nose to check
Yeah.
in your bag. You pay through the nose to get a seat next to the person you want to travel with. You pay through the nose to check in and get your boarding pass. Yeah, that's how they get you.
But why to pay through the nose? I would like to know that. I don't know.
It's quite
But
difficult, isn't it, to sort of pay
yeah,
through your
to pay through
nose?
the
So maybe
nose.
that's why. Or cost an arm and a leg. I
Well,
don't know.
costing an arm and a leg is, I can understand, because it's also the same in Spanish. We say it costs a kidney, or
Yeah,
it's a part of the body, it's a limb. But
yeah.
to pay through the nose, I don't see the connection.
Me
Like
neither.
to pay too much, remember, to pay too much for what you're getting. No? So I paid too much for that. Usually mobile phones, the mobile phones is really the expensive brands like iPhones and Samsung. Sometimes you say, wow, I mean, okay, it's a nice phone and all that, but 1,000 euros or more, they're getting more
Yeah,
expensive.
they are.
Um,
Especially like Apple
yes.
products. You pay through the nose to get an Apple device these days.
Hema
Hema's saying that
saying, yeah,
we're
you're
freezing. I think that might
repeatedly.
be you, Hema. If you're having problems seeing us on video, can you let us know in the chat? Because Hema's saying that we're freezing. So maybe.
Yeah, because I have not seen you freezing, and Craig is in Valencia, and I
very
am
cold.
Yeah, and I am in Madrid, and I haven't. So it depends also on your own computer. I have no problem
Felipe
at
said
all.
there's some lag.
Lag. Oh, well, yes.
That's
There's
a
always
nice
a
word. Lag
delay.
is delay. There's a
Lagging.
delay
Yeah,
in the voice. Yeah.
yeah. To pay
Okay. Yeah, I
through the
think
nose.
it's you, Hema. Try maybe refreshing the browser. Do a
Yeah.
refresh on your browser, or go out and come back in again. Maybe that
Yes.
works.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe someone in your house is watching Netflix, and that's why you can't see us properly. We had this expression before: when you can afford something or you can't afford something. You can afford a Ford car, for example.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a very, very common expression. Now, I want to go on holiday, but really this year we can't afford it. Or I want to move house, but we can't afford it. So yeah, you don't have the money. Another way to say the same thing.
It's outside my budget, but this is very graphic because if you're outside your budget, it means that you have not included these expenses in your budget. So it's outside my budget. What is outside my budget? For example, to buy an expensive car, and Tesla is outside my budget, obviously, because it's
And budget is presupuesto, isn't it? In
yes,
Spanish?
budget is presupuesto.
The amount of money you have
Yes.
for something.
Yes.
Yeah, it's outside my budget, or we had before, I can't afford it. You can say it's more than I can afford is another way to say
Christina
the
is
same
saying
thing.
it's out of my reach.
Yeah. Oh, we've got some funny
Spam.
people doing silly things. Let's get rid of them.
Yeah. Yes. Okay.
Okay, they're gone. Yeah, the signal's not very good. I apologize for that. I know there's some noise coming from Monica's microphone, but I think
It's
it's
my
rubbing on.
microphone. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not why it's freezing. But there is some noise because your
Oh,
microphone,
sorry,
I think, is
because I'm
rubbing. But
moving too much, but there's no.
that's better.
when
It
I-
stopped.
Yeah, because
Wonderful.
I
Where are we? Yeah, it's outside my budget. And next one is very, very similar. It's too rich for my blood. Means it's too expensive for me. I can't afford it. It's not in my budget. It's outside my budget. So these are ways of more politely saying, "Oh, come on, that's way too much money." So
yeah,
saying, "Well, it's a little too
elegant.
much, a little too rich for my blood," is a more
Yes.
elegant way of saying the price is too high, bring it down. So it's too rich for my blood. Again, if
Yeah.
you like these expressions, make a note and we will revise them at the end.
Yeah,
So
everybody's saying the signal is not very good. I don't. Well, there's nothing we can do about it. I think it's maybe it's
no, because I'm a wired connection to the internet, so I can't make it any better my end.
no. But
And I
you have optical fiber like me.
and I have nobody in the house watching Netflix.
Me neither.
So unless a neighbor is stealing my internet, I don't know what,
But
I can do.
yeah, it's true. There's some lagging in the connection. Sorry, one
question from Felipe. Cheap has a bad connotation. It depends on the situation, Felipe.
Yes,
It can do, and that's why inexpensive is a much nicer word.
Inexpensive, no inexpensive, no inexpensive. Inexpensive. Yes, it's a lot better.
As Monica said at the very beginning, cheap can have a meaning or an implication of bad quality. Oh, it's a cheap cable. It was made in China, very cheap. It's cheap. It's bad quality, so it could have a bad connotation, a bad meaning. So if you want to sound more quality, inexpensive is a better word to use.
Yeah. Okay. Gives you the amount of money something is going to cost you. It's not a budget, I think. An allowance.
An estimate.
An estimate.
An estimate. I'll put that in the chat for you. Just a second. Let me make sure it goes into Facebook and not YouTube. So it's an estimate, which interestingly is the same word in Spanish, isn't it? Presupuesto. Yeah. So presupuesto is budget and estimate, but in English they have different meanings. So yeah, where are we? A bit pricey to pay through the nose, outside my budget, too rich for my blood. Let's move on to another area. So we've looked at inexpensive, expensive. Let's look at how you negotiate price. And to negotiate is quite a formal word, used very often in business. Not always about money, because you can negotiate other things, negotiations. Countries who are fighting each other, for example, can negotiate peace. So it's not always about exchanging money. But these two words are more informal. They mean to negotiate, but they're used in a much more informal context. For example, you negotiate in a business meeting, but you haggle or you barter in a market.
In a market, yeah.
Have you ever haggled in a market?
Yes, and I hate it because this is something cultural. To haggle is cultural, and I wasn't brought up with haggling because in some cultures, it's very common to do this. For example, in Arab countries, I remember one time I was in Egypt. Every time you went to buy something, they started haggling, and you have to do it. They tell you have to do it. Don't buy for the first price they offer.
No, the first price is usually
high.
You're paying through the nose.
Exactly, you're paying through the nose, and if you don't do it, you're going to be ripped off for sure.
Exactly. Actually, that was a question I wanted to ask you, and also the people watching in the chat. How do you feel about haggling or arguing negotiating over price. Are you comfortable with it? Do you enjoy it, or like Monica, do you find it very disagreeable and not very nice? How do you
No,
feel about
it's
haggling over
unpleasant.
price?
It's unpleasant because I suppose it's just a thing, a cultural thing that I'm not used
It's
to it.
very
It's not
cultural.
used to it because they are used to doing this, and they get insulted if you don't do it. And for us, this is like waste of time. I mean, okay, give me a price and that's it. If I'm going to buy, I don't know, some kind of decoration for my house, I want to know the price. Don't start haggling with me. So
I used to feel the same way as you, and then
mm,
I lived in the Middle East for a while, and I traveled around the Middle East, and I got used to doing
okay,
to
to
haggling.
haggling. Where in the Middle East?
I was traveling around Lebanon, Israel,
Mhm.
Egypt for a while,
Yeah,
and
they all
also
do that. Yeah,
haggling in Turkey is very popular,
Turkey.
and
Yeah.
India. I've haggled a lot in India in markets and shops, and it's a game. You have to
Yeah,
look at
it's
it
a
as a
game. It's a
game.
game. Yeah, it's a game. It's part
So
of the
you think, oh,
game.
how much would I pay for this? What's a good price? When you
Yeah.
decide on how much you're willing to pay, they give you a really high price. You give a really, really low price, and then you
And
try
then
to agree and haggle
okay,
to where you're both happy.
we didn't explain to barter because barter is the same, but also means another thing that is trueque, you know, with things. And haggling is prices, and to barter is also with things, no? To
Yeah,
exchange things. No?
I'll give you
So,
5 chickens and you give me a sheep.
but we don't usually do that anymore. You do this sometimes when the economy goes bust in the country, then you start bartering. But
Mhm.
um, normally we just talk about price, no? So it's an old word. Actually, it's a very old word and an old custom, I would say.
Yeah,
No,
it goes back to the Bible. We've got some
barter.
comments coming. Christine says presupuesto, that's for estimate. Yeah, exactly.
Estimate. Yeah,
And Jose Antonio says, it wears me out.
it
It
wears me out.
wears me out. Haggling, yeah.
Haggling, yeah. And Hemas is
And
uncomfortable. Yeah.
yeah, lots of people don't from the West
Yeah.
don't like
No,
haggling and
we
bartering,
don't
but
like it.
yeah, there are some tricks that you can use. If you're haggling in a market,
I
you can turn around and go to say, no, I'll leave it. And you walk away and they call you back. And you
Yes,
walk away and they
I
call you back.
remember now. I remember now.
These
My
tricks.
grandmother used to love, my. You know that I come from Chile, and I remember when I was a child, I used to go shopping with my grandmother, and my grandmother did always this. She
Was she a
started
good
hugging.
haggler?
Yes, she was always hugging, and I was so embarrassed because I thought this was rude to go and start saying, for example, she wanted to buy a toy for me, and said, "Okay, this is 10 euros," and she started, "Could you leave it for 7?" And
10
I was
euros?
thinking,
You must
and
be
yeah,
joking. 10
yeah,
euros for
10
this?
euros, and then I was totally red, and I was thinking, "Oh my God, this is so embarrassing!" And I left the shop because she kept saying this. She had no problem with haggling. It was something she had in her blood, really.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but maybe in Chile they haggle more than in Europe. I don't know why, but she had this habit.
So
Everywhere we went,
did you
she
get
went.
the toy in the end
Yeah,
or
at the
not?
end she got
You
it,
got
and
the
with
end.
a discount. With a discount, I think they do it much more in Chile than we do it here in Spain.
Yeah.
But you can also haggle sometimes, and the people, if they, my husband likes this. When he's with motorcycles or things of cars and all, he starts haggling. And I always run away when this starts because I always think it's like you're cheating or something like that. I don't know why. I'm very uncomfortable, like Gemma says, very uncomfortable with the prices.
A similar
Okay.
word to haggle is to bargain. We had bargain
Mm.
before as a noun, a
Yes.
bargain. It's a bargain. It's a really good price.
Mm.
But also as a verb, to bargain means to argue about the price or to
Mm.
discuss the price. So you're haggling, you're bargaining.
Are you
And
very good at that? Are you very good at bargaining?
I've gotten better. I've gotten better at that, but I'm not a natural. I'm not like your grandmother. I don't have it in my blood, but I have learned with experience how to do it. So yeah, I can drive a hard bargain, which means I
But
can get a good price.
exactly that, and then the thing is, like, you offer a price, and that's what I'm willing to pay. And if he or she doesn't agree,
No. You
I
offer
just,
you offer below what you're
yeah,
willing to pay,
exactly. No,
and
but
then
you
you
have
can
your
go up.
limit.
You have
No,
your
but what
limit
I mean,
before you begin. You should have your
you,
limit.
yeah,
Yeah.
you have your limit, and then if you reach that limit and they are not willing to agree, you just walk away, and that's it.
Yeah.
But that's how you get. This is what my husband teaches me, because I am so bad for the thing of price. I always want to do things for free. I don't know. It's something of my character.
Full marks to Eduardo, who has successfully guessed the next expression that we're going
Yes,
to show you, which is to ask for a discount.
as
So
for it's done.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Well done. And also, Christine is asking, can we use to bargain to express this idea of negotiating prices? Yes. If you're bargaining, you are negotiating price. Again, negotiating is a more formal word, and bargain is more colloquial, more common, like haggle. Some people get to earn money haggling. Yeah, some people do, don't they? Some people buy things secondhand,
Exactly. This,
resell them online, and earn a
yes.
lot of money. That's
In
true.
fact, I just bought a product that it was only because I bought it more expensive, only because I wanted to avoid the waiting time for getting it delivered at home. No, so because if you buy through Amazon, you are sure that you're going to get it at a certain moment and all that. And I was looking at Alibaba, and this is dirt cheap. So there's
Alibaba comes from China.
yeah, but Alibaba takes, like, it could take a month to arrive. You never know if it's. I suppose it always arrives. I don't know. I never had an experience, but I don't like it because it takes very long to arrive. But in Amazon, and this is what they call. There's a system, drop shopping or something.
Drop shipping.
Drop shipping. They really don't buy anything that somebody orders. You get it from another company, and you just put your margin there. So this is haggling, really.
It's a good
business.
I
don't know if it is haggling, but it's putting an overprice just because the person is going to buy in one online shop that you trust. That's one of the things that happens. I trust this website, and I have my data and all that, and I wouldn't buy from an unknown website. That's one of the reasons why you would pay more. No?
Exactly. You trust it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we spoke about negotiating and to negotiate. Negotiable is the adjective. So is it negotiable? Is the price negotiable? Will you negotiate? Or can you come down? So the phrasal verb to come down is obviously come down in price, but we don't need to say in price. So can you come down on that means can you reduce the price? Or are you flexible is a really polite way of saying that's too expensive. Are you flexible on price means I want it cheaper. I want you to reduce the price. That is what you're asking. If you say, are you flexible on the price?
If you would say that in Spanish, I think it would be misunderstood. If you say, eres flexible, because it has a different meaning, no? It can also be
what would you say then if you wanted to be really polite in Spanish about bringing the price down? How would you say it politely?
I have no idea because I never
because you never haggle. You never negotiate.
No, I leave my husband to do that. I always send my husband. I said, my husband is going to talk to you. And I disappear because he's much better. You have to admit that you have certain skills, and you have strong skills, and you have weak skills. And so I try to just let another one do my weak skills, because I know that I'm going to be a disaster because I don't know how to haggle.
The lesson today is if you want to buy something ever from Monica, speak to her. Don't speak to her husband. You'll get it much cheaper. If you
No, I would
or
say,
if you're selling something, sell it to Monica. Don't sell it to her husband.
Yeah, rebajar. Me lo puede rebajar, but that's Emil said rebajar, but hacer un descuento, yeah, hacer un descuento. Me puede hacer un descuento, but not necessarily. It's not necessarily more elegant to say me puede hacer un descuento. Oh.
That's can I have a discount? Really?
Yeah, there's no precio. In Chile you say precio conversable. Well, that sounds nice. That sounds very nice.
Hazme un rebajita. Is that?
Una rebajita. Yeah, that sounds cute. Yeah, una rebajita. ¿Me puede hacer una rebajita?
Rebajita,
Yes,
a small rebaja.
A small discount, yes. Una rebajita.
So are you flexible on price? And sometimes maybe the price is 80 euros. That's what they ask. They're asking 80 euros for a second-hand camera. And you say, well, I can pay 60. And then the other person says, let's do this. Let's meet in the middle, 70 euros. So if you meet in the middle, it makes both people happy. So you go up a little bit, the other person comes down a little bit. And you can also say to split the difference is a very similar expression, to meet in the middle of what you're offering. That's another useful expression.
So I think
how are we doing for time? We have about 5 minutes. There's one or two questions I'd like to ask you, and people watching, if you'd like to comment on these questions. Have you bought anything new recently? And are you pleased with what you paid? Are you pleased with the price? Have you bought anything new recently?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, I rented. I have, but I haven't bought it. I am very pleased with the car, but it's a renting. It's not bought.
Okay.
A hybrid car. I'm so pleased. It even has a name. We call the car Toro, like bull, because he's so strong and he goes everywhere. He doesn't consume too much. He has for me that I'm a disaster parking. This camera that you can, when you back up, you can see the rear part of the situation there. And
did you negotiate the price?
No, well, you negotiate a little bit, but it's a dealer, and I usually negotiate like on these kilometers and other kilometers. But it was for me, I'm very, very pleased with this car, because it helps you to. It also, for example, it brakes for you if you make a mistake when you're backing up, or when or when you're going forward. Sometimes there's a person coming and you don't see the person, and the car goes bump and slams the brakes, and it stops. And I think, oh, it's like a person. He takes care of you. And my husband hates it. My husband says, oh, no, I want to control. And I love it because it takes control of all the situations.
So you feel safer. You feel safer.
I feel safer.
Well, that's important. That's important.
Yeah,
that's important.
That's why, because many things that and this is incredible technology. It's incredible.
Yeah.
The car knows how you're driving, if you're driving straight, if you're stepping on the lane and one of the stripes, knows everything.
Christine said it's a win-win situation. Yeah, everybody's happy. Everybody's happy with the outcome, with the result. Yeah. Okay, well, I think we'll go back quickly, shall we, and just review the expressions to remind you. Remember, if you do see any new vocabulary items or new expressions that you like, write them down, make a note so that you can use them next time you're practicing English. So we began with talking about price and negotiating, and then very basic questions. How much is it? And how much does it cost?
Cheap. Inexpensive. Better to use inexpensive, because cheap means bad quality usually.
It's a good price. It's a wonderful price. It's an inexpensive price. It's a fantastic price.
Affordable. If you say that something is affordable, it means that you can pay for it, that you have enough money to pay for it. The opposite is not affordable.
That's very reasonable. That's quite reasonable. Means that's a good deal. That's a good price. That's worth it.
It's 20% off. That means that there is a 20% discount of the full price.
And it's a bargain. Bargain here is the noun. It's a real bargain. It's a good bargain. You've got a good deal. Very, very similar.
Yeah. It's dirt cheap. Means it's very cheap.
And if you get something for a song, you get it at a very, very good price. I got it for a song. It was ridiculously cheap.
Expensive. Well, everybody knows this word. Expensive.
Sorry, I just coughed, so I muted my microphone. It cost a fortune. It cost a lot of money. It was really, really expensive.
It was a ripoff. If it was a ripoff, it was very expensive, and it really wasn't worth it. No?
It's daylight robbery. Es un robo total.
It cost me an arm and a leg. It cost me un riñón, like in Spanish. Too much.
And it's a lot of money. It's a bit pricey, and it's a bit steep. So steep is going up very sharply. It's a bit steep. The price is steep.
To pay through the nose, to pay too much for something.
I can afford it, or I can't afford it. I can't afford.
It's outside my budget. I really cannot afford it. That's another way of saying that you cannot afford it.
Thank you for your offer. That's very kind of you, but unfortunately, it's too rich for my blood. It's too expensive.
And negotiating price, we have to haggle or to barter. To haggle is to start bargaining.
And you haggle with someone, you barter with someone, and you also bargain with someone. Those three verbs all used to speak about price. And you drive a hard bargain means it's difficult to agree on a price with you.
To ask for a discount, very simple, because you ask for a much lower, or somehow lower price. Okay, to ask for discount.
And is it negotiable? Are you flexible with the price or on the price that you're asking? Can you come down a bit? Can you reduce the price?
To meet in the middle or to split the difference. And you can use this to reach an agreement, no? Because more or less it's in between. The price is in between.
Exactly. And that's all we have, I think. So
Yes.
Thank you very much for spending time with us. We hope that's been useful and that we've managed to widen your vocabulary for talking about money and price. So if you'd like to follow Monica.
I think you were frozen. We lost you for a while. Yeah.
You lost me? Am I
here?
I'm back?
Yeah, yes,
okay.
You're back. So I'm the author of blog Del Inglés, and I write all the articles in Spanish about English. And also this class is going to be in some weeks. I'm going to upload this video with the text in Spanish. So yeah, you can learn more. If you have trouble sometimes, especially for beginners, it's very good. And blogdelingles.com.
blogdelingles.com. And you can find material to improve your English on the website mencioningles.com. Lots of free courses and material and listenings and lots of material there. Or if you prefer, you can buy a course in our shop, especially the audio courses for when you're out and about and doing other things. You can improve your English that way. And if you do like listening to podcasts to improve your English, inglespodcast.com is where you'll find me and my co-host Reza every Sunday talking about things to help you improve your English. So thanks again for joining.
Thanks.
Have a lovely week. Stay safe wherever you are.
Stay safe. Eduardo Ingles says today's chat was a real bargain.
So of course it was, Eduardo, because it was free. You can't get better than that, can you?
Yeah.
But we really enjoyed being with you. Always a pleasure to see you every week. I'll be back next week with Lynn. Monica, hopefully we're back in 2 weeks speaking about another subject on her Facebook page on her Facebook page. Please join us for that. So until we meet again, have a good week, and we'll see you soon.
See you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Strange. Is that? Are we out yet? I think we're out. Yeah.
No, I don't think so.
Oh.
You're still.
No, we're still
connected.
speaking.